There's a kind of pain that doesn't come from losing things, but from losing people. The ones you thought would walk beside you forever suddenly disappear. The ones you trusted with your dreams begin to distance themselves, and you're left in the quiet asking, God, why would you let them go? But what if the removal wasn't a betrayal? What if it was divine alignment? Today on the Bible series online, we'll explore why God removes people from your life, the spiritual reason behind it, and how that loss might actually be His greatest act of love. Every story of transformation in the Bible begins with separation. Before Abraham could become the father of nations, God said in Genesis 12:1, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." Separation was the first step of elevation. When God called Abraham, He didn't give him the whole map, just the next move. And with that move came the loss of familiarity. Sometimes God can't show you what's next until you let go of what was. Even Moses had to leave the palace of Pharaoh before he could lead God's people out of Egypt. David had to leave the field before he could step into the throne. And Jesus, before his ministry, was led into the wilderness, alone. The pattern is clear. Before destiny comes distance. Before promotion comes pruning. Before revelation comes removal. Let's be honest. Separation doesn't feel spiritual. It feels painful. You start asking questions you never thought you'd ask. Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Why would God take away what I prayed for? But here's the truth. God doesn't just give, He guides. And sometimes His guidance looks like subtraction. When people walk away, it's easy to think you're being punished. But often it asks God as a way of protecting your next chapter from voices that can go with you. Think of a rocket launch. When the rocket rises, its boosters detach, not because they failed, but because their part of the mission is complete. Some people in your life were boosters. They helped you lift off, but they can't go into orbit with you. If you keep trying to hold on to them, you'll burn out before you reach your destiny. That's not cruelty. That's divine precision. There are times when God removes people for reasons we can't see, but that heaven fully understands. First, for protection. Some people carry storms you're not meant to weather. God hears conversations you'll never hear. He sees motives that haven't yet revealed themselves. When He removes someone, it's not rejection. It's protection. He's saving you from battles that were never yours to fight. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." But sometimes the weapon was a relationship. Second, for preparation. Before God blesses you, He refines you. And He often does that by pruning relationships. Why? Because attachments can delay assignments. In John 15:2, Jesus said, "Every branch that bears fruit, He prunes, so it may bear more fruit." The pruning isn't punishment. It's proof that you're growing. And third, for promotion. As you rise, your circle will shrink. The higher you go, the thinner the air becomes. Not everyone can breathe at your next level. When Jesus went to the mountain of transfiguration, He didn't take all 12 disciples. He took 3, Peter, James, and John. Elevation requires selection. God removes to refine. He separates to strengthen. So how do you know when God is removing someone? You'll know when the connection starts feeling forced. Peace leaves, but confusion enters. Conversations begin to drain you instead of feed you. You might even start feeling guilty for wanting to grow. That's when God begins loosening the knots, not with chaos, but with clarity. You realize the bond isn't breaking violently, it's ending gracefully. And when you finally release it, something beautiful happens. Peace returns. Your focus sharpens, and you start hearing God's voice more clearly than before. After Lot left, God spoke again to Abraham. Genesis 13:14 says, "After Lot had separated from him, the Lord said to Abram, 'Lift up your eyes from where you are and look north, south, east, and west. All the land you see, I will give to you.'" Notice the timing. After the separation came the revelation. Sometimes God has to close one door completely before he opens the next one. If you're still staring at who left, you'll miss who's about to enter. When you let go of the wrong hand, God frees yours to receive what's right. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what God already lifted from your shoulders. And as you release, you'll begin to see that empty space in your life isn't a void. It is an invitation. An invitation for God to fill it with purpose, peace, and new divine connections. If you're watching this right now with tears in your eyes, feeling left behind or forgotten, hear this. God didn't forget you. He's filtering your circle. He's clearing the path ahead so you can walk lighter, clearer, and freer. You're not being abandoned. You're being advanced. Every closed door, every silent friend, every sudden ending, it all makes sense in the story God is still writing. Stay faithful in the space between separation and revelation, because that space is sacred. When God removes people from your life, don't chase what he released. Don't mourn what he replaced. And don't doubt what he's preparing. Because if they were meant to stay, they would have. If they were meant to see your next level, they would have been called higher too. But since they're gone, it means your season is changing. And the same God who removed will soon restore. Let go, and let God lead you to what's next. Thanks for joining the Bible series online. If this message spoke to you, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it.